Hi guys, nice to meet you if you're new here, nice to see you if you're not new here. How's it going? I'm Lara. Welcome to the reading vlog. It is officially fall, you guys. It is September 22nd, which is the first day of fall of the year. I have so many reading vlogs planned for the fall and I'm so excited. I am so excited. On my notes app, I have a folder open for all of the video ideas I have, and there is a lot of them. And a lot of them have to do with the fall. And I'm ecstatic. What's another word for excited? Let's do this thing again because I've done this before. Another word for excited. I am thrilled about fall, but that's not what this video is. If you saw the title, we're doing a mood reading vlog, and it's because I have been in the weirdest book slump over the past couple of months. I thought I got out of it. I didn't get out of it. It has been a weird book slump where I might want to read, but really I don't feel like reading. I'd rather be doing something else, or I just don't want to read. It has been that for the last couple months, and it's so frustrating because I have so many books that I want to read. I have not really just been picking up books that I'm in the mood for, so that's what we're doing in this vlog. Because fall, like I said, I have so many video ideas planned and there's so many books that I want to read for fall, but I think I need to do a video for myself and read a book for me. I'm going to show you some of the books that I want to read. So welcome to the mood reading vlog. I'm currently reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This book just came out not that long ago. Elsie Silver is great. I absolutely love her books. Chestnut Spring series is by far one of my favorite romance series that I've ever read. It's definitely on the top 5 list. And I've not disliked one of these books. I don't think a single one of these books has a lower than like a 4.25 star rating. And then I read Wild Love, which is the first book in the Rose Hill series. This is the second book in that series. Wild Love was great, amazing. Chef's Kiss, loved it so much. It had one of my favorite characters from the Chestnut Springs brother in it. And then this book is the best friend. And I'm loving it so much. I'm about 150 pages in. I started this book on vacation and I have been trying to slow down. I don't want to eat this up. Okay, you know, I want to take my time. I don't want to scarf it down. That didn't make any sense. I don't want to read this book too fast and it's already over. So I decided to slow down, don't read too much of it. I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it. I'm loving Wes so much. I'm loving Skylar so much. That's the book that I'm reading right now. But a couple of books that I'm thinking that are on my radar for the mood read, and they're on my radar, might not read them. Gonna try and read them, but it's whatever I'm feeling, you know? Is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Partly why this is on this little mood reading TBR is also because this is my book club book and it's September 22nd. Do I want to read it? Yes. But also it's my book club pick, so I need to read it. The Love of My Afterlife by Chrissy Greenwood. This, I've said it before, the title of it and the synopsis of it gives me the Dead Romantics vibes, and it's on my radar. I don't have a single fantasy book on this, I just realized. And if you're wondering how I'm doing on my September TBR by reading those, I'm not doing great. I'm not doing great. Daydream by Hannah Grace. Wildfire I also read about this time last year when it came out. Beautiful, loved it so much, and I just know I'm gonna love Daydream so much. I just know that I'm gonna love Daydream so much. So these are kind of the books that I'm feeling at the moment. It's kind of what's on my radar for this little reading vlog. I feel like reading. I'm in the mood to read a book. I'm gonna go sit and read this book on my Kindle, because if it's available on Kindle, I'm reading it on the Kindle. Who's with me? All right, let's go read. me just say that I'm loving these characters. These characters are... I'm really loving West as a character. I've not really read too many books about a pop star or a singer or anything like that. I've read a couple, but not too many. I think she kind of wouldn't fit in this place, like on a ranch. She's having a lot of character growth. I mean, you literally meet her in the most bizarre way. You meet this character in the first chapter, and I'm not going to tell you, it is in the first chapter, but I'm not going to tell you, but it's bizarre. And then you're seeing Wes meet her for the first time, and watching the character growth for both of these characters, but also for mainly Skylar. Her character growth it's great, really. It's great seeing her connect with herself, connect with being free, and seeing the things that she's gone through when she was younger and what she's going through now, and watching her overcome these things. And she's becoming free. She's becoming her own person, really. You're getting to know Skylar, not Skylar Stone. There's this bird named Cherry, which, first off, what an added touch. What an added touch, a bird that talks. Like, what more could you ask for? She's funny. Love this added, like, character into this book. The single dad trope. We're not seeing it that much. But also, when we do see it, chef's kiss. Needless to say, I am having fun reading this book. I'm about 238 pages into the book. I'm like a little over halfway. Hello, time for a little update. I actually realized that I haven't given you one in a little bit. I made an iced pumpkin chai. I've drinking most of the iced pumpkin chai, but I did make one, so it's officially fall, everybody. Both the books that I'm reading are orange. This isn't orange, this is kind of yellow, but this is orange. I haven't updated you. I kind of just jumped into the next book, but I did finish Wild Eyes a couple of days ago. I don't really know how I am feeling about this book. I don't know. I don't have like a rating yet. I don't really have my thoughts pulled together yet. It's about Skylar and West. Skylar is this big country star. Since she was little, she's been in the media, some kind of media form. She's been there, and she eventually gets tired of being told what to do. So she runs away to this little town called Rose Hill, where Ford has his recording studio. Says, hey Ford, I want to record my own album that's meant for just me and nobody else. Skylar is staying in this little bunker house that West owns. I really liked both of their personalities. I really liked watching her with the kids. There's all types of extra things in this book that I also really like, such as like one of the little kids play soccer and watch the soccer game, and we have the small town element. We have the ranch, and we have a bird that talks. I did enjoy this book. Like I said, I really love their personalities. I loved all the extra elements added into it. I love Elsie Silver's writing, but I felt a little iffy in the middle. Not that I didn't like what was happening. I think it wasn't that I was bored. I wasn't bored. It was that I just didn't feel the wow that I feel sometimes in like her other books. And not to compare her books, because what I'm saying right now doesn't mean that I didn't love the book. Okay, I did really love the book, but I think I've loved other books more. The thing is, I love the characters in this book, but not super crazy about the story. I don't really have a star rating on this book yet. After I finished Wild Eyes, I picked up The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is my book club pick of the month. If you don't know about my book club, it's in the link down below. It's on Fable. It's called The Reading Diaries. This was our September book, so I'm trying to finish this book before September's over. It's September 29th. And also, I said we were mood reading for a week. It's literally Sunday, so technically the week is over. I started this book, and I've started this book before. I tried reading this a couple of months ago. I read the first like 2 or 3 chapters or so and just wasn't feeling it. I didn't really feel super excited to read it within the first couple of chapters, so I put it down. I said I'll come back to it. Well, now it's a book club pick, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read it. It's on my end of the year TBR. It's giving me such fall vibes. Why not this be one of the first fall books that I get into? It's literally not fall, actually, it just looks like it. Anyways, so I picked it up again. Yesterday I read the prologue and the first chapter. I put it down because I was doing other stuff, and I decided to pick it up this morning. Well, I'm currently on page almost 120. I'm on page 116. So if that doesn't say anything, that means I'm enjoying it. And I just want you to just like, I don't know if you can see, but as I'm flipping through, there's annotations in here because I am thoroughly enjoying this book. The first sentence of the first chapter, my aunt used to say, if you don't fit in, fool everyone until you do. What a thing to just live by. The next sentence, find work that's fulfilling to your heart as well as your head, to never forget to fall in love whenever you can find it, because love is nothing if not a matter of timing, and to chase the moon. Always, always chase the moon. And that's just something that we're following in the book, is to always chase the moon. It's something that's brought up a lot. I didn't even tell you what this book is about, you guys. Whoa. Slow down, back up. What is this book about? The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston is following Clementine. Clementine is this girl who works in publishing. She's living pretty mundane life. Her publishing job is really all that she lives and breathes and eats and publish. You know, that's her entire life. Another part of her main focus is her aunt. Her and her aunt were really close. They traveled every year together. They traveled around the world, not just like a cute little let's travel to a different state. They like went everywhere, all over the world. Their passport is full of stamps. And she grew up with her aunt, like going to her aunt's apartment, and her aunt would tell her about these stories of how magical her apartment is and little stories of what's going on in the apartment. She has these pigeons on her AC unit that are generations and generations of these pigeons, and it's a mysterious thing. As Clementine got older, she stopped believing that her aunt had a magical apartment. After her aunt passed away, she left her apartment. And so now Clementine is living in this magical apartment. Clementine one day wakes up and there's no other than a man standing in her living room. Learns that he is from 7 years in the past. When I stopped reading this book a couple of months ago, I read, like I said, the first like 2 or 3 chapters. And then when I was rereading the book, I read those chapters again. And then the next chapter after that, I was like, if I would have only read this chapter, I would have kept reading. And I don't know why I put it down. I just didn't feel it in the moment, which it's okay to put a book down. You guys listen to me. If you don't want to read a book in the moment and you're like, maybe I'll pick it up again, put it down. Put it down, because it's not the time. It's not the time. You're going to pick it back up one day and you're going to realize like that's the moment that you should be reading the book. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm glad that I did pick it up again. I'm glad it was a book club pick. 116 or so pages in. I'm going to keep reading. Hello. This is a couple days later. Actually, literally, today's Thursday. I think the last clip I spoke to you in was Sunday, and I said, oh, I'm gonna finish the book. Then I got sick. It was up even later than I wanted to because I got sick and I didn't want to do anything. But nonetheless, I did finally finish the 7-year slip. So let's talk about it. I say let's talk about it, but I really don't know how I feel. Just a really quick recap. Clementine and her aunt are really close. Since she was little, she can remember her aunt telling her these magical stories about this apartment that her aunt owns. Her aunt tells her that the apartment can sometimes take you 7 years in the past or 7 years in the future while you're in the apartment. And it's just these really weird things. Her aunt tells her stories about stuff that happened. But as she gets older, she's like, I don't really know if I actually believe in this. Well, fast forward. Clementine now owns this apartment. Well, one day she's in her apartment and boom, there's this guy standing there. And lo and behold, she is 7 years in the past. The thing that I really loved about this story is I absolutely loved being in the apartment when we're 7 years in the past. That story between her and the male main character, absolutely loved watching them in the apartment together. Them spending time together, them getting to know each other 7 years in the past, but it's just so strange to me. And I mean, Ashley Poston does this in her book. She adds this like little weird magical element to them. Not weird in a bad way. Weird as in like it makes the story so much better. It gives the story so much more character. Like being in the Dead Romantics, the magical element was being able to see people that haven't passed on yet. In the story, the magical element is the apartment. I love the characteristic that the apartment added to it. The being 7 years in the past and feeling magical, and these pigeons. I'm not gonna tell you about the pigeons, but the pigeons in the story. It just adds a little comedic effect to it. Also, I really enjoyed the feeling of them being in the apartment together. It was just so strange being outside of the apartment, and now she's 7 years in the past in the apartment. 7 years in the past. She's in the moment. And then when she steps out of the apartment, she's in the present, and the character that's in the past exists in the present, but it's so different and it's so strange. Like when you get towards the end of the book, you're like, whoa. Although I love that, I don't know how much I cared about the story outside of the apartment. I didn't care too much about like her life outside of the apartment and like the other character's life outside of the apartment. I still enjoyed it, but I just didn't care as much as being in the apartment, which I know being in the apartment is like the whole point of the story, but I don't know. I still loved it, but I think I'm leaning towards like a 3.75 star on this story, on this book. 3.75 star is not a bad rating. I still really enjoyed it. I still would recommend it to you. I still will read Ashley Poston books. The other story that I read in this book, I mean, whoa. The other book that I read in this video was Wild Eyes. We already talked about it. I was still sitting on a star rating for this. I still really don't know. It's like I'm kind of at the same as the 7-year slip. It's just, I don't know how I feel. It kind of gives me like, I feel like a 3.75, but at the same time, it's like a 4 star. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the characters, but I think I've liked other stories better. But I really love the growth of the characters in this. Same for this story. The growth of the characters is important and it really matters, but I don't know how I feel about it. And I don't know. I don't know. What a recommendation. You guys read these books, but I don't know how I feel about them. I still really enjoyed both of these stories. I don't know what I want to give this book. I'm kind of still sitting. I think right now I'm going to settle on a 4 star, but it could change depending on how I feel in the future and how I feel about other books that she writes and how those sit on my star rating. They were both still really great books. I really do recommend both of these books, an Elsie Silver book and an Ashley Poston book. Please give them to me. I will eat them up every single time. My camera's about to die, so I need to wrap this up. What a great wrap up. Right? Am I right? I'm right. I know. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. Mood read, literally, I said a week, but it's been more like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I think, because I got sick and reading Wild Eyes took a little bit longer to read than I thought it would. 7-year slip, I read the first 200 pages in one day, and then my camera died, of course, and I have no clue what I was actually talking about. I was mood reading for a week, and I'm glad I finally got to these books for myself. I've been doing a lot of videos where I'm reading this for a video, I'm reading this for a video or whatever, and I haven't really taken the moment to like, what do I want to read? And Granted, this book was my book club pick of the month and that's why I read it, but I still really enjoyed it and I'm glad I finally picked it up because it has been sitting and waiting for me to pick it up. But back to the regular scheduled, I already know what my next video is going to be. I'm super excited about it. I have the books picked out for it. So back to that, but I'm excited about it. So it doesn't matter, does it? Does it really? Because I don't think it does. If you want to be part of the book club, it's linked down below. It's the Reading Diaries. It's on Fable if you want to join us. We're reading the Pumpkin Spice Cafe for the month of October. If you want to join us, you don't have to. Other than that, I hopefully will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.